Then, Leo, I'll give you the heads up when we're started.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Chris. Thank you so much for this space, allowing Nebraska Enterprise Fund this space to help and to bring this type of workshops to everybody. NEF is City of Five, and we provide capital funding and technical assistance to businesses in Nebraska, and hopefully with the internet anywhere else that they're connecting with us. We are currently in Nebraska offices in Southwest Iowa as far as lending goes, but we can do technical assistance to anybody that would need assistance with that. My name is Leo Martinez. I'm a loan officer with Nebraska Enterprise Fund, business mentor. I'll have my contact information at the end of the presentation. If anybody's seeing this live and you have questions, feel free to leave it either in the chat or on the comments on Facebook. If you are seeing this recording, then feel free to reach out to us either via email or give us a call. We're more than happy to talk to you one-on-one and be able to learn more about your business and help you in any way we could. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about scarcity and mental scarcity more than anything, and how does that reflect in our family, our workplace, our business. And yeah, if you have any questions, please stop me. I'll try to stop here and there and answer any questions you guys may have. This is not a super formal presentation, so it's obviously open to anybody to ask any questions about it. So I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully we are able to bring this live here shortly, and let's get started. We're gonna do a little icebreaker and a little presentation of myself and who am I and what we're gonna be covering about today, and a little bit of self-assessment on you, your business, your family, and some spiritual assessment as well, in case you want to do that. And we're going to be closing out with just a little summary and some action items that you can take and start working on them to work on yourself and then breaking that scarce mentality. So who am I? I'm Leo Martinez. Our goal for the session is to identify what a scarce mentality is and how to turn your chaos into clarity. My little bit of my hobbies and what I am. A lot of times is when we talked about who we are, we don't realize that there's so much more than we are as a person than we realize. Starting with your hobbies and who you really are, and understanding that and knowing and being vulnerable with yourself gives you the opportunity to grow. So by all means, if anybody out there, I would love for you guys to type down your name, what are your hobbies, best, your favorite movie or whatnot. Now I'll be more than happy to connect with you guys. I'll love that. So let's see that. Let's see you guys drop your name and favorite movie will be awesome. And let's do a quick check-in, and this will be again. This will count as far as your, your movie if you want to. So drop down one, one emoji that you guys like right now. How you feeling? Is it just because it's gloomy outside? What are you currently doing? If you're at home listening to this, if you're at the office, if you're driving. Drop down on the comments, Facebook, give you guys a little minute just to get us going. And we'll get into it. We're just giving you some time for people to join. This is not a long webinar, so it should go pretty quickly. But we'll give some people the opportunity to join us. So feel free to drop something in the chat. How you feeling? What are you doing? Where you listening us from right now? I don't think I have music. I would love to have some music. Do you have any like Jeopardy music or anything like that, Chris, on your end?
Run that by me again, Will.
No, I was gonna say, if you have any background music, elevator music, anything like that,
Really set the mood.
to set the mood right, right. All right. All right. Well, let's do a little of an icebreaker for anybody who's watching on Facebook. Um, let's see if you can answer these few questions if you have a couple of questions in there. Oh, that's awesome, Chris. Yep. That's
It's the
yeah,
season, right?
definitely is the season. Yes. There's a whole bunch of them that I love. I know I was very into Harry Potter, so I love to kind of watch them way before Halloween. So, but I have two little kiddos, so they cannot watch it. So, anyhow, so that's
Probably for the best.
probably for the best. Yeah, so it was nightmares. Yep. All right. So, trying to identify your abundance mentality also comes from your daily habits. So, for all of you guys watching, this is a good exercise for us to do. So, can you write down or type down a couple of your morning routines? That could be either, what time did you wake up? What do you do when you wake up? What is the first thing you do? Do you even have a morning routine? Do you just wake up and go? I know before I had kids, I had no morning routine. I would just, get up and go. As I started getting a couple of kiddos, that definitely changed. But do you even have breakfast in the morning before you head out? Do you set yourself for success in the morning and actually take a time for yourself to plan out your day? Do you do anything for others as far as any type of kindness? That would be your neighbor, that could be your spouse, your kid, your family member. It could be obviously a stranger that you just met at the street. Um, and the last thing is, what is one of the most challenging things that you have done in your life or in your business? So I'll go first, and all of you guys who are watching, feel free to type down any or all of the answers if you want to. As far as my end, we are a morning family, starting with my kiddos. They they are actually, oh, I think we have I don't think we're here. That's a, thank you, Chris. How about that? Is that better?
Much better.
Now you guys are seeing what I'm saying. It's like,
Yes.
what is this guy doing? I'm so sorry. Yeah, all right, well, there you go. That would change things a little bit. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right. So yeah. So again, we're focusing a little bit on our routines and these questions right here, just to set the tone for the chat today. And in reality, just for us to do a self-assessment and how do we really prepare the day so we can be more effective and at the end of the day break down that scarce mentality that we tend to have. And then we'll go more in depth in the next few slides. But my kiddos wake up around 5:30, so everybody's up around 6. Between getting showers and having breakfast, I try to get my morning exercise before that. So otherwise, the kids will not let me do it. I usually try to work out about 20-30 minutes before the kiddos wake up, and then that kind of gets me already up and going by the time those kiddos come up. And we don't have such a heavy breakfast, just enough to get us going for the day, some protein and some sweets to get the kids up and going. And I try to do something for my teammates all the time, send them small reminders on our team's group, and just wishing them a happy day, enjoying the day, and anything that I can do to help them to reach out. And one of the things that I have done has been the most challenging thing in my life as of today is actually being a dad. That has been the most challenging thing that I have struggled with. It's parenthood. As far as business goes, I have launched 2 businesses, and it's been difficult. I still running one of them. The other one had to be put on hold for a little while. Um, but definitely, those are the hardest things that I have ever encountered in my life. If you guys have something that would like to share, feel free to drop it on the comments, drop it on the chat. I would love to hear from you guys. You still have some time. If not, we'll keep going, and then you can always add it. This is more of an informal webinar. This is more for you to be able to gather your thoughts and understanding. You might not even realize you have a scarf mentality right now as we go through the slides in the webinar. So are we still watching my slides? You still seeing on the screen? Everything okay?
Yeah.
All right.
We got all systems go.
All systems go. Awesome. All right. So let's do some focus on what your self-assessment is. We currently have in our lives so many hats that we wear on a daily basis, and that has to do, especially if you're a business owner, you are a manager, an owner, worker, a marketer, sales manager, you are operation manager, you are pretty much everything. Even if you have employees, you become HR, you become everything. And so every single hat that you wear, it brings challenges to your life. And in this analysis, we're just going to understand where we are as a brand, and a brand meaning yourself and your business, and how can we really improve it. We'll be starting and identifying some areas of improvement as well, and defining your daily habits that can, at the end of the day, help us create action items to be able to be, or change yourself to be a little bit better than we have been before or even today. So let's focus a little bit about your business. One, what type of industry your business is, how can you impact others, what are your aspirations as a business owner? Do you want to grow and franchise? Do you want to open other locations? Do you want to, if it's a service industry, do you want to open up to other services, other areas? If you are currently an employee and you're just, you're working from someone else, are you aspiring to be a business owner? Do you want to grow in your career? If you're just a single parent, um, what is it that you want for your family? Are you looking for generational wealth? Do you just want to get through the first 3 years of your kid's life like I am? Uh, do you have teenagers? And if you do, please let me know how that is, because I have two little ones on their 4, and that's crazy. If you're not a parent and you're just someone that is looking to find your way, what are your aspirations? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in the next few years? And I included spiritual just because some people tend to focus on that as well. And this is a very challenging situation, especially this past couple of years. Trying to find a good rhythm to include this in all of your hats. So taking a moment and understanding where you're currently at right now and where you want to be in the next few years is very important. And the reason why is because the questions that we ask that follow the plan that we're going to create. And that being said, if we have a scarce mentality, we tend to underestimate where we could be going. So, for example, with the family, if you're planning on, getting your kids through college, or getting at least your kids through high school, planning what is going to happen in the next 5 years is very important. If you just say, well, you know what, they're going to be 18, and they're going to be on their own, so that's not my problem anymore. Well, that's fine, but that's a scarcity mentality right there. At the end of the day, that ends up in family as well, and that becomes your generation that is part of you as well. So that's something very important to understand where you're standing up right now, so that way we can keep moving forward and understanding the things that we can do to improve it. So we're going to be focusing a little bit about on sales. one thing that I really love is these couple of quotes that we got. Um, when someone gives you a gift and you don't particularly like it, you have two options, and one of them is possessing the scarce mentality, and the other one is talking from abundance. One of them is, you can say that you don't know what they don't know what you like, and that's what they give you, what you got, and being negative about what you received. However, that person did took the time to get you something, and your abundance mindset is saying, that's nice. They notice me. I can't believe they remember my birthday and whatnot. Um, that is very important because that is something that we talked about every single day without even noticing. If you have a coworker that brought you a soda just because of it, and that's a soda that you don't like, or you don't even drink soda, one the first thing that you're gonna say is think selfishly and say, well, I don't even like that. Why did he give me that? I don't like it. However, you're not acknowledging the fact that you've been given something that you could otherwise not been given it to. And that is an abundance mentality, talking about and being grateful of what you have right now, rather than being complaining and not grateful for what you currently are being offered. Um, so one of the things that I do like about talking to yourself and analyzing the way that you speak to others is understanding that the abundance mindset is simply the way of looking for gratitude and being grateful of what you have today. So, for example, today, it's raining, gloomy, and all that. You could be complaining all you want. You could be, just trashing the day. But at the end of the day, you're still alive. It could have been worse. It could definitely be snowing rather than raining, and that would not be cool. Um, so understanding that abundance mindset is simply always looking for gratitude. It's is the best way to break that scarce mentality. And we'll be talking a little bit more into how that relates into your workplace and how that relates into your family. But gratitude is really all about having and appreciating the good things in life and the lessons that you learn along the way, which really helps us to cultivate the abundance mindset. And you might say, what, I don't have anything to be grateful about. I don't believe that's true. Um, you know, you do have the choice to be upset at everything. That's definitely your choice, and you can do that. However, you do have an obligation, which is just to one person and one person only, and that person is yourself. And you have the obligation to make to love yourself and be happy with yourself, not just so much with others, but to yourself. Be given the fact that you're the only one dealing with yourself. So that's when it comes and we're talking about selves. So I'll stop a little bit and see if anybody has a question and anybody has a comment. If I'm going too fast, just tell me, Leo, slow down. If not, then we can go ahead and keep going. So I'll give a couple of, say I'll give a minute, and then we can keep going. Let me know, drop down your questions, comments. If you haven't write down your favorite movie, make sure you do so. If you're driving, then don't do it. But if you're not driving and you can type, that would be awesome. Yeah, I swear I need to have some background music. All right. Anybody on Facebook? Chris, any comments, questions?
Not currently, Leo.
All right. Awesome. Sounds like a plan.
A little bit of elevator music for you if you'd like.
That'll be sweet. Next time that will be sweet. We'll, all right, so let's go. Again, we talked about everything, being grateful, everything. One thing that I like to talk about, and how I relate to this so much is I have, for the longest time, I have always heard my teachers, bosses, managers, everybody say, there's always, you can always have a piece of that pie. And it's like, I have always heard it. I have never realized that there's more than just one pie out there for you to grab a piece. It's not just one pie for everybody, and then you just get a little bit tiny piece. That's a scarce mentality right there. That is saying that there's only one thing to go and there's not enough for everybody. That is not true. It rains for everybody, not just a few people. Everything gets wet. Um, the sun shines for everybody, not just for a few people, not just for the people who are good or the people who are bad. Um, Blessings are for everybody. So when I came to this code, um, it hit me really profoundly because I have never thought about, well, what if there's more than just one pie? I mean, I'm always just here, you know, thinking that there's only one little thing that I can achieve and look forward to, but in reality, um, that's not true. That is a mindset that we need to break and understand that there's a lot more, and there's enough for everybody to go around. Whether that be clients, if you're trying to go into business and you're so afraid that you're not gonna have clients, there's enough clients for everybody in whatever industry it is that you're going to have. Um, is it gonna be harder? Yes, it's probably gonna be harder, but there's enough people out there that will buy your product. You just need to hustle and you need to work hard, and that's something that you as a person need to do. But breaking the mentality that there's not enough, uh, you know, that is so important. It creates anxiety. I remember when I started to launch my first business, I was so afraid because the industry that I was going into, which it was health and fitness, it was already saturated. And I was like, well, who's gonna want to work with me? Well, hold and behold, there was plenty of people that wanted to work with me, not because of what I was offering, but who I was. And they were really buying me rather than buying the product that I was offering, and they were working with me for who I was and what I brought to their lives, not so much for the product that came as a second, as a plus. But I had so much anxiety when I started to do that. So understanding that, and that everything is in the mind, is just, it just, mind blowing. It's just amazing. All right, this is a quote that I want to leave you guys with. When I love this one. When you can see your life and career from another brand, about a place, then you create more abundance, and it starts in a deep and profound sense of our own inherent worth. And this is so true for our kids as well. And we'll be talking about family in just a little bit. Uh, but the inheritance that we get from our parents, it's is crazy. Um, we, when children hear that there's nothing to go out, there's not enough to go around, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Um, you might grow up in a family where money was scarce. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about a mindset. We're not talking about so much physically, or physical, monetary, example. We're talking about the mind in this case, and how do we you know give that to our kids unknowingly. Uh, when when a kid comes and you go to the store, and he asks you, I want a candy, I want toy, I want whatever that is that they want, um, the first thing that pops in our head is we don't have enough money. And then we say we don't have enough money, or we said no, we can buy it. Um, the kid doesn't hears that. The children hears, we never have money, I can never have that. And so that creates a confliction, on the kid. And then you start seeing envy growing on the kid, because then they end up seeing other kids having it and they don't have it. Therefore, they start to to wish that they have what they don't have. Now, things that you can do to break that cycle is preparation, and being able to understand that the problems are going to come. If you know you're going to go to the grocery store, you know your kids are going to ask for something. I know my kids always do. Um, Before going to the store, even before we get into the car, in the house, hey, we're going to go to the store. Today, we're planning on buying groceries. We're planning on buying whatever. We're not planning on buying toys or candy. And then now the kid knows the expectations that you have when you're going into your store. You're not saying we don't have money. We're not saying we cannot buy it. When you get to the store and your kid asks you for something, then you say, do you remember we're planning on buying groceries? Yeah, we said we're not planning on buying toy today. However, do plan on try to put some money aside. Sometimes it's hard, I understand, but you don't have to put $20 at a time. You can put $1, $2, $3, and then eventually get something for the kid if you want to or if you can. But giving that those words to your children's when they um, when they're faced with a question and your answer of I don't have the money to do it, then it changed their mentality. Not so much of we don't have, but okay, well, we're not planning on doing this today, but we will later. That has been a game changer in my life. I didn't have that growing up. I was always, afraid of asking my mom for something because money was scarce at home, and I was always afraid of asking for something. Um, but that's something that we can teach our children. And while scarcity mindset can regulate adults, it really has a severe impact in our kids. Um, that can affect on the workplace when they grow up, because then they tend to be more selfish from what they have, and that might be knowledge, and that might be money, but they tend not to approach problems as adults in the best way possible because they're growing up with those thoughts and those mentalities of the no, and the rejection from one kids. Um, one thing that I really like about this is that we are able to change our mentality. This is not who we are always going to be. By knowing this now, you have the choice to change it next time you go out with your kids. And that could even be with your husband, with your wife. That could work all the time with any of the people that you're dealing with. Understanding and preparation before those obstacles come is huge. Um, any comments or questions yet so far? If you do, feel free to drop them on comments. All right, I'll leave this here for while we are waiting for some questions. If you haven't dropped your movie, make sure you do. Would love to hear that. All right, well, let's go. How does this affect your business? This is a great quote from Tony Robbins. The quality of a person's life is most often a direct reflection of the expectations of their peer group. The people that you spend most time with will shape you in a good or a bad way. When we're talking about business, find mentors, find people who have gone through the stuff that you have gone through. I have done, I want to say, a lot of the jobs out there. Well, some of them I haven't really, but I started, since sweeping the streets to dishwasher, lawn care. I did a little bit of mechanic, but that didn't pan out well. And in every job that I have taken part of, I have met people that know more than I do, but they're selfish of not teaching me what they know, and that comes from a scarce mentality. The fact that you think because you know more than someone else gives you the right of acting or diminishing the other person. That's just scarce mentality right there. If if you think yourself like that as a parent and you're not teaching your kids what you know, that's a scarce mentality. Um, I understand sometimes we need to let our kids learn by themselves, but if you know how to do something, teach them. If you know something at work that you have learned, teach others. Be 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 kind to others that way and have that abundance mentality. Not because you know it means that you're just gonna keep it to yourself. Um, I have heard people say, "Well, it caused me to learn, so I'm not gonna tell anybody to do it. They have to learn by themselves." That's scarce mentality. That means that when you were growing up, obviously there has something to do with what you were experiencing, and therefore you're not sharing uh, what you had. So that comes to be in your business as well. If you are an entrepreneur and you started a business, and just like me, you ran into hard times and have done hard things, and you see someone else going through the same thing and you just laugh, that is a scarce mentality. I am doing this seminar not because um, I was forced to do so or my work told me to do so, but it's because I have gone through this that I believe that someone else that is going currently to this may benefit from it. It might be just one person. Who knows? It might be more than that. But the fact that you are here in this world to provide and to help others is an abundant mentality. And that has to do and that impacts your business, that helps you grow your business because your clients, your buyers, um, they see that reflected in you and your business, and therefore they end up doing more business with you because your company has good morals that way. So that being said, understanding that the people that you surround yourself with in this specific time, mentors, uh, other business owners, will shape the way that you are going to be acting as a business owner. The next one is we'll be talking about is your employees. You need to build a strong squad of people. I have one for I believe I have had about 20 jobs when I was growing up. Out of those, only three have invested in me as an employee, and 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 that's very important. That is something that if you are a business owner, um, a lot of the times we see our employees as just labor and that they're there to do their job. Yeah, that's true. But also they are human beings, they're family members, they're going through things, they have aspirations. And if you sit down with them and become a mentor to them, they will one appreciate you a lot more. They'll appreciate their job. You'll create loyalty on them with your business. They'll work and they'll be more efficient at work. Um, so finding a team that you trust is huge. Um, Finding the right people that have your same beliefs, it's very important from the get-go. Establishing expectations from the day one, it is very important for you to do that. That creates an abundant mentality. If you just tell someone, I know working at a fast food restaurant, I was told to do um, to do some preparation. I have never in my life cut an onion or tomato or anything like that. Not because um, I was very young when that happened, but um, when they told me to go do it, I did the best I could. Not the way they wanted it to, but one, they didn't explain what they needed done. They didn't show what they needed done. They just expected and told and thought that I would knew what they were talking to, and they did not set expectations for me. Um, that being said, I ruined the whole tomato that I cut, and I got yelled at. Um, Still, they didn't teach me. I learned from someone else. Uh, but understanding that when you're building your squad is very important. Look for ways to reward your workers. It's not so much that you give them a raise. It's not all the time about money. Invest in them. Learn what they like. Learn what they're going through. Maybe their family. Maybe someone got sick in their family. Maybe your business does not provide PTO, but you can arrange a way for them to work a different day during the week, or maybe a different time, and they can care for their family. That those are little ways that you can create loyalty in with your employees. And communicate. Have a communication with your employees, with your with your with the people that are serving you. It's very, very important. All the time, a good morning goes a long way. How you doing? How's your family doing? And then when you're in meetings, make sure that what you have said is what they heard. A lot of the times it's not what happens, but then you start creating um, things on your thoughts in your mind, saying thinking that your employees do not listen to you, they don't care about you. That's the scarce mentality. Um, so we're trying to break that. Uh, you know, Motivate positivity with them as well, and respect your team members as an individuals. They are parents, their sons, their brothers. Uh, Connect with them in a personal level. That brings abundance mentality in your workplace, and that's huge for you to keep employees with you, especially nowadays that is so hard to retain employees, especially because money tends to become an issue at this moment. So I hope that helps. If Please feel free to drop your questions down in the chat. Um, we're gonna talk about 3 things that I have done that have helped me a lot and create some abundance mentality in this way. So I'll take a little moment in case anybody has a question. Again, if you're driving, don't type, but if you're not driving, if you can type, feel free to do so. Okay, so we're just gonna go back, summary, and then I'm gonna explain what the ASD means. And this is more if you are a business owner, but also this is gonna help if you're an individual, if you're starting your business, or you're just a student, or just on your daily life. This has helped me tremendously, and I'm sure that it's gonna help some of you guys as well. So just as a recap, make sure that we know where we stand. Make sure that you work on yourself. Make sure that you talk positive to yourself. Make sure that you understand that the way that you think creates a positive environment, not just to you, but the people around you. Understand that what you teach your kids and your spouse, it can create a chain of reaction down the road for them to break the mentality that we had when we were raised by our parents. And then also understand that the workplace is one of the most important places for you to be able to teach this to your employees. You might be the only person that has talked about this with them, so that's huge. All right, so ASD. All right, so this is automate, simplify, and delegate. This can be applied to any type of in the industry. If you don't even have a job, you just have a family, this can be very, very powerful. Okay, so automate. How can you create an abundance mentality when you're in the workplace? All right, so think about what you're currently doing, reaching out to clients. If you're just there sitting there, I only have 2 sales. Well, today I only sold $200, but it's only Wednesday and nobody's coming because it's raining. All right. Well, that is a scarce mentality. how can you automate your sales? That could either be through a funnel marketing. You can either have an email list. What can you sell right now, even if discounted, to make some money? But you need to be able to have it automated. So whether that is an email sequence, whether that is a campaign, whether that is mail marketing, direct mail marketing, whatever it is that you can do that you don't have to be involved hands on, that is huge for you and your business. And that can also be implemented in your family. Um, if you have your calendar that can tell your wife, your spouse, your kids what's happening this week. You know, you can always print it. You can have it there. This week we're gonna do X, and these times are blocked for family time. This is for activities. This is for uh, uh, reaching out to friends or X. That gives you the ability to monitor the activities of your family, and therefore gives you the time that you need to spend in other tasks that you need to do. The simplification, when we're talking about business, is is more of a mindset of growth than anything else. How can you make the sales um, the easiest way for your clients? How are you currently selling to your clients? Is that someone that needs to come to your place for you to buy for them to buy your product? Okay, well if they're coming to your store, how are you positioning your product? Is your product up front, very close to the door when they're walking? Is it on their eyesight? Do they have to go look for it? Do you make it easy for your client to make the purchase? Can they buy online? Can they buy through a catalog? Can they call you, make an order online? I mean, over the phone, or do they have to go to your Facebook, to your DoorDash, and order it through it? How simple can you make it for them to buy your product? And that comes on the family as well. How do you simplify your day? I know, and I talk by my experience. Um, when before I had kids, I would wake up, put on my shoes, clothes, do my hair, and be out of the door. 5, 10 minutes top. That would take me to go out of the door. With my kids, it seems like I had to add an hour for every kid I have, plus an hour to my wife and an hour to me. So I had to have 4 hours before going out of the door if I want to be on time anywhere. Uh, so for us to be able to simplify the process is we need to teach our kids. My kids are 4 and 2. They know they need to do their bed, so they have first morning routine for them is hair, is clothes, bed, shoes, and breakfast. They know they have to do 5 things before we go out of the door. And they know that if they don't have all those 5 done, well, there's no TV time by the time when they come back until they do all those 5 things. So sometimes the beds are not done. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they don't have breakfast. Sometimes they do. But they know they have those 5 things. So we have simplified our process by creating a routine for them. We know that we need to have blankets and pillows and whatever ready, so we have them the day before. We know they need to get changed, so we have their clothes ready. We have them choose their clothes the day prior, so when they wake up, they know they have to change their clothes. So this can be applied on the workplace, and this can be applied in your daily life. And then the D stands for delegate. If you're a business owner, the more time you have on hand, it means that the more time you're delegating daily tasks to your employees, to third parties, and this will create time for you to work on your business and not so much for your business. So if you have a Facebook and you have an employee who's really good in social media and you delegate that, then you just have created yourself some time to spend to do something else. If you hire an accountant, you just have created time for you to do some other stuff because you have delegated that to an accountant. How does this translate to your daily life? Well, you have kids. They know they have to do chores. They have to help around the house. If you want a clean house, teach your kids how to keep it clean. They know they have toys and they know they gotta play with them. Yeah, well, also teach them that they have to pick up once they're done with their toys. I know it sounds easy just saying it. It takes time. It has taken us time to teach them, but we started when they were very young, and they knew that they couldn't do something else after before they were done picking up. Delegate things that you have to do around the house. You know, whether you hired a plumber, you hired a handyman, or whatever it is that you need to do around the house that you cannot do or you just don't have the time to do. Either do that, or you can delegate it to your husband, to your wife, to your kids. But that just creates time, and all of these together creates an abundance mindset because you're not thinking in a day to day, in a negative way. You're actually planning ahead. I hope that that helps for you guys. So I have a little thing. We usually do this live, so I usually give you a handout like this, and you just tend to put things that you can do to simplify, your life and stuff like that. So this is usually more for when we're in person. These pictures are just there for you to show that this could be your family members, and then you just put in there your accountant could be in there, your marketer. So this is something that we do in person, but it's something that you can also do on yourself. And this is something that I came across. I'm sorry, it's a little blurry, but this is really cool to see the two ways and how this can affect you from physically to mentally. Um, the two areas of scarcity and abundance. How does this affect your point of view? You're always thinking you're a victim. Whatever happened has happened to you. It has not happened for you. It happened to you. You're always being bullied, and you just want to be done with it. So whatever happens in life is always your fault. Um, People are always attacking you. Your boss is always on your case. Your coworkers are always on your case. Um, that is a scarce mentality. Versus you are always on the drive seat. You can drive the way you feel. You can drive the way you react. You cannot control how people talk to you. You can control the way that you react to it. So that is abundance mentality. Now your physical energy, how does that happen? You're always tense, contracted. Your shoulders are always tense. You're always up. Um, you're always short breath because you're always just reacting to life rather than being relaxed and alert. Passive. You're always grounded. You breathe and you take the time to breathe. I know we breathe all the time, but taking 30 seconds, a minute to actually sit down and breathe, it gives you energy just by doing that. How does that affect your emotions? It drains you. It just drains your whole day, being in a negative state of mind. You always feeling frustrated, anxious, angry, overwhelmed. Yeah, and just understanding that you feel powerless because everybody's doing this to you, rather than understanding that you have the control of reacting how people are talking to you. The opposite side is you're always feeling empowered because you have the power to react how people are talking to you. There's always going to be confrontations, but you have the ability to react to them in a good or a bad way. And understanding that is the difference between scarcity and abundance mentality. Um, your mental energy is everything. Once you're checked out mentally, you're checked out, emotionally too. So I hope this helped. Um, this talk is really close to my heart. I have gone through this myself. I am still a work in progress, but just having the understanding and being able to stop and think, am I being too negative? Am I thinking this way, or do I really have the control to react to the way that we're doing? So these are a few books that I like a lot. I have lifted in here for you guys, so I'll leave it here for you. I left these action items because this is something that is an exercise that we do in person. What I would love for you guys to do is do something similar at home. Break it down into your 3 areas. And what can you really do? What can you simplify? What can you automate? What can you delegate? Whether that be my investments in, I mean businesses in this area, but investment works as well. But on your work with your family. So if anybody wants, I'll leave it here for a little bit for your book. I really love all of these ones. They're really, really great. And that have helped me a lot with what we're talking about. So, well, thank you. This was my contact information in case anybody wants to reach out to me. I really appreciate you all. I really appreciate this space for this time. And if anybody has a question, feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to talk to you all. Chris, you can take it away.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Leo. Appreciate your insights today. As always, you can keep checking our calendar for upcoming lunch and learns and other classes online at dewspace.org/calendar. Hopefully you'll be able to find even more ways to continue your education and becoming better people. So thank you so much again for coming out, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.